Hello, everyone. Welcome back to A Course in Miracles 365, Awakening to Love. I'm Reverend Tomas, and we're deep into the subject of forgiveness, which is, well, it's where the action is here with A Course in Miracles. And specifically, forgiveness is mentioned, it's talked about in many places throughout every component of the course, but specifically today, we're in the Song of Prayer and part 2, which is entitled Forgiveness, section 3, Forgiveness for Salvation. So let's jump right into it. And first of all, naturally, there's going to be a contrast between forgiveness for salvation, which is under the direction of the Holy Spirit, and forgiveness to destroy, which is under the supposed direction of the ego, which we discover is not at all directed. It is completely rudderless and confused, and fear itself, as we see in the many forms of what passes for forgiveness in the world, especially the kinds where one person stoops and deigns to forgive someone else who has transgressed them, someone base, scum, a loser, while they're all lordly, they're high and mighty, and in their great charity, they've stooped to forgive us, or different forms of forgiveness where it's a negotiation. You give me what I want, and I'll forgive you. But if you don't give me what I want, I won't. Those types of things. So we can laugh about it here on a video that's talking about forgiveness. We can laugh about it here in this context, and I hope that you do. I mean, I really hope that you do, because every single one of us can think of multiple instances where somebody supposedly forgave us but held something out over our head, mom. Or perhaps it was someone else. Maybe it's your spouse. I don't know. But we can all think of many, many different instances. And if we're really honest, we can most likely think of an instance where we held out the same type of supposed forgiveness to someone else and held something against them. If we're being really honest. As always, I invite complete honesty here on the path, because we need it. Otherwise, how can we bring up everything, look at it, and forgive it? How do we make progress if we want to keep our little forms of hatred, our grudges against someone or something, or a political party, or another country, or something like that, another ethnic group? I mean, a grudge is a grudge, and it prevents you from knowing yourself. It really does. So forgiveness is the way, as taught here in the course. So forgiveness for salvation, which we'll talk about here today, contrasts with forgiveness to destroy. That makes perfect sense. There's only one form of forgiveness for salvation, and it is under the direction of the Holy Spirit. That's very simple. It's easy to say, and it rolls off the tongue. So why is it so difficult to understand and put into practice? It's a good question, isn't it? If you're asking yourself this question. And what happens here is we want control. Quite simply, the ego wants control. It wants to run the show and would do anything to stop you from listening to the voice for God and allowing said voice, i.e., the Holy Spirit, the universal inspiration, your higher self, capital S, to direct your forgiveness. That's why when we're talking about prayer, this is a beautiful and highly effective prayer. Please direct my forgiveness. Address that to your inner teacher. Please direct my forgiveness. Again, please direct my forgiveness. Now, you see where I'm going with this. Yeah. This is something that does not come easily to any of us. Why? We want to keep control. We've so identified with the ego, our false, mistaken sense of self, that we want to direct God. We want to direct the Holy Spirit. We want things to be done our way so we can keep our own little crap over here on the side, our own little grudges and special forms of hate and love. We single people out for beautiful, beautiful love and affection, and other people can, well, go straight to hell, as we say. So, I mean, we really do think that way when we think with the ego. And forgiveness is an opportunity for us to think with the Holy Spirit and allow the Holy Spirit to run the show and not try to determine what form or what outward looking practice our forgiveness has. Now, forgiveness is a call for help. This is something that's really important here when we intellectually attempt to understand it. The Holy Spirit sees all of our actions, everything we say, all of our thoughts as either an expression of love or a call for love. And if you want to see this call for love as cry for help, beautiful. Do that, because that's what it is. So anytime somebody appears to do something that angers or annoys us or causes us discomfort, it's a call for help. It's a call for forgiveness. It's a call for love. It is. It's a call for love. So what is the appropriate response? Love. Now, this section of the Song of Prayer says something that's very important in our letting go of control and relaxing and trusting our inner teacher, which really, if you want to boil down a large part of our work here, is to relax and trust. Give everything over to your inner teacher and relax and trust that everything's going to be okay, that you are going to get exactly what you need, the opportunities that you need to forgive and make what we call progress on the path. And incidentally, fringe benefit, really a side benefit, is you'll get what you need in this world to sustain yourself. Food, money, right? Sunny skies, if that's what you need. Yeah, whatever you need to sustain yourself and continue doing this work, this forgiveness work, continue reaching your brother, you'll get that fringe benefit. A Course in Miracles doesn't operate on the level of the physical world. It operates on the level of the mind. So what we're doing is we're changing our mind. What follows our change of mind? Exactly. We're changing the way we perceive everything. Forgiveness is under the direction of the Holy Spirit, so we leave this to Him. A beautiful question, paragraph 5 here in this section. What should I do for him? Right? What should I do for him? Your son, right? Son of God. We can ask our inner teacher, what should I do for him? Yeah. And if you're forgiving a woman, for her, if you prefer, what should I do for him? And let the Holy Spirit answer, and do not interfere. Do not allow yourself to get in the way. This is getting out of your own way, which is something that we talk about all the time in various spiritual disciplines, isn't it? When I studied Tibetan Buddhism actively, which I did for over a decade, we talked about getting out of our own way in that tradition. This is the same thing. It's the same thing. We want to have a specific formula for forgiveness, don't we? We want a chart. We really do, as human beings. which is what we think we are, after all. We want a chart. We want to be told exactly what to do so we can rote apply it in any circumstance. Yet we discover that's not the way it works. Forgiveness is best understood as an attitude. It really is. And in my own experience working with it, this is what has spoken the most to me, is seeing forgiveness as an attitude rather than a chart where we say the right things. Now, I have been talking about the attitude in many videos, and there are some components to this attitude that should be there in order for this to be the true forgiveness that undoes the ego and allows the Holy Spirit to do the deeper healing work of healing your unconscious guilt. It's unconscious, right? For all of us, we're not even aware of it, but our inner teacher is aware of it. What we forgive are the outward symbols of this deep, buried, unconscious guilt. Our brother is an outward symbol. Politics happens to be an outward symbol. It's not really outside of us. It's in our own mind. We forgive these appearances. We forgive ourselves for dreaming them, yes? And we acknowledge that the separation never occurred. So the exact words, right? We release all of this to the Holy Spirit. We join with the Holy Spirit in peace. Our brother's never done anything to us. We recognize that. We recognize that the separation never occurred. There are many things that could go into an actual practice of forgiveness, but it's acknowledging that our brother didn't do anything to us. We're forgiving, essentially, our brother for what he did not do. And because there's never been any separation ever of any kind, it's impossible that somebody could have done something to you. You're not two. You're one, not two. There is no other who could possibly oppose a separate you. There's no separation. We allow the Holy Spirit to tell us what this person needs, the Son of God. It's direct my forgiveness. What should I do for him? Your forgiveness will probably look differently in certain circumstances. But the more we practice having this attitude of forgiveness, the more it becomes second nature. The purpose of spiritual practice, isn't it? To get it to become a habit, a living, breathing, waking habit that we go to automatically, so that instead of rushing to judgment and using a different F word for somebody, we forgive automatically. It becomes fluid and automatic. What will change the way we perceive everything. The supposed outside world, other people, ourselves, everything. That is the purpose of this course. It's the purpose of spiritual practice, so that we may wake up to the truth of who we are. Remember yesterday in the last video, I spoke about the very, very famous idea from A Course in Miracles that ideas leave not their source. We've never left our source. You've never left your source. So the gist of this entire section of the Song of Prayer is to let the Holy Spirit direct your forgiveness. It's getting out of our own way. And it's so, so important. So ask. You have guides on the way. You have human teachers. You have your inner teacher. There's help available. There's assistance available. There's guidance available. So, my closing invitation to you today is if you need this help, ask. Ask, please. Button here. Subscribe, the little red arrow. And I appreciate all of your subscriptions here. If you like this content, I am here several days a week talking about A Course in Miracles. Now, it's my spiritual path. I've studied, obviously, I mentioned I studied Buddhism for a number of years. I've studied Christianity. I was raised in a couple of different fundamentalist Christian traditions. I've also got quite a bit of experience with shamanism. So I've studied world spirituality. I've practiced world spirituality, and I've taken A Course in Miracles as my main focus of practice. It's my path, but whatever your path is, if you like this content, if you're finding things that are of value to you, I invite not only your subscriptions, but also your comments, because I do love to interact with you. And if you've got questions, please, please feel welcome to use me as a resource, because I'm here to help. All right. So, and you know where you are on the path. You know what tradition or traditions you practice and feel comfortable with. So every time I show up and teach here, I know that I'm saying something of value to you because you're watching. So consider that there's something that you're meant to hear here with every video. Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. We're not in control. We make the decision for the Holy Spirit, for love, for God, and allow our inner teacher to do the rest. We bring our little willingness. In forgiveness, it takes the appearance of us forgiving. It's our forgiving an image that appears to be outside us, but really symbolizes what's going on in our own mind. We are, by forgiving someone else, literally forgiving ourselves. So let's keep going, shall we? All right, guys, thank you so much, as always, for joining me, and I'll see you again.